That's right. We have Sammy with us, and Sammy's got something that I'm not gonna lie, I have questions about. I love that poster right behind you, by the way. Actually, both of them. Good job. The marketing is going really good this year, by the way. La Femme has really hit it up a notch with the selection. The posters are like, it makes you want to like look. I like that already looks good. Sammy, what's going on over there?
Hi, how are you, Erin? Thanks so much. I appreciate your admiration of my poster. Made it myself. This is my first script, first film, and then I make music too. So my own original music scores the film. Um, I'm interested to see what your questions are, though, in regards to the film. It's an autobiographical, dark, romantic comedy. um, but yeah, it's kind of me bearing my soul. I use it as my cinematic expression of hurt people hurt people. Um, I experienced like heartbreak very young, uh, and just crazy betrayal. And it turned me into someone that I did not like and did not want to be. And actually, like this year, I had a huge shift within myself and realized I was living so inauthentically to who I want to be. Um, and so I kind of like blew up my own spot. um, and yeah, now I have this like really dope film, but it's kind of my villain story, but also like my villain backstory a little bit.
Okay, and you're right. I have so many questions on this. Okay, first of all, I love the poster, and I'm telling you right now, it needs to be like, and I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any, and it kind of keeps it fresh. But sometimes I go, shoot, should have seen that because I had a better question. But here's a question, and I don't think people are really doing it. We kind of have one. They did like a music video, but I love that you did this, and I want to put this out there so that people understand because it's a great way of looking at it. The name of it is Savage Sam. That's number one. Number two, it is a short. You need to be aware of that. But you did it on something that in the description it says autobiographical dark rom-com scored by own original. Trying to click on the rest. But it's your own original music. Now, and I said this to someone yesterday. I said, look, it's very simple. Why don't you get with someone that's really big and go with the lyrics, but make a movie out of it in a way? Maybe I didn't say it, but that's what I meant to say. You did that on your own thing. And I love that you did that. I love that it's kind of like your own story. I always say how much is real and how much is not real. But right. So the question I have is, at what point did you say I'm going to make? Because you do music, obviously, it's a very difficult thing. Did you do the lyrics? Did you do the beat? Like, what would you describe the first thing, which is, and I think it's this. It's the music that you put right, and then you made the movie on it, or did you ever have the movie in mind?
The movie came to be like in November, but I had been working on the album. The album was already complete when I actually wrote the script. I was actually watching a movie on Netflix called Purple Hearts with Sophia Carson. And I was so inspired because she sings the soundtrack. She's the executive producer and she's the star of the film. And I was like, boss lady, like I want to be that.
Yeah.
Like I want to
Yeah.
do that. As soon as I finished watching the movie, I grabbed my laptop and wrote this script in 2 days. Now, I have to admit, there were some things in the movie that I hadn't yet lived out. So I had to redraft once I stepped fully into my authenticity. So the first draft it was very vanilla. Like it was very safe. It was not like, it was very like, that was fine, you know? And then
Right.
once I really was like, no, if you're going to tell this story, like be for real. Cause it was called Savage Sam, but you didn't actually see my savage. And so I had to really get real with myself and be like, okay, yeah, these people have hurt you, but like, who have you hurt? Who have you betrayed? Who have you hurt? Like that? So Savage Sam to me is like my alter ego. I've always known that I have this light, happy go lucky kind of personality, but I also have a very polar opposite version of myself that, I think makes the bright brighter, but also you see the dark and you're like, oh, I'm a little scared.
Watch out. Watch out. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you did that. And I love that you put that there. Now, and I have a question, all right? Because there's a lot of people looking for work right now. Okay. And you did it. You're like, obviously, okay, there's only so much you could do. People sometimes do, and I've seen people do it. They put it on Instagram, they put it on other stuff. They do their music and then they do a video on them or they pose for it. But you did something a little more than that, right? You put a team together.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my first time pulling together a team, which was the most incredible experience. My director, Justin Frick, he's from Spokane, Washington. He actually specializes in music videos. He is incredible. I met him back in 2016 on one of the first web series I ever booked as an actress, and got really close with that team. And I mean, spoiler alert, that was the team that I actually did not treat the best and inspired a lot of this film. But I'm so grateful that I was able to have his creative eye, because he's just incredible. And the rest of the team, cast and crew, like really came together so divinely, because I had written this in November of last year. And as an actress, I've been an actress since 2015 professionally, and have built up my contacts,
Yeah.
and just kind of picked here and there, and also had people that saw me but I had never really interacted with. And when I was like, hey, I need a gaffer, my gaffer Chris Chef, he was like, I'll do it. I was like, oh sweet. So the team itself just came together so seamlessly. Like, this was the most divinely aligned project I've ever done. And it was like definitely the biggest, kind of the scariest, honestly, because I'm bare in my soul. But I had a team of 14 people that just blew me away with how much support that they could bring in to help bring this to life.
Yeah.
But also just so unexpected. Like, I'm still blown away at some of the little like gems that I feel like God put on this project for me. But I'm really into like law of attraction, and like you have to speak into existence like what you want, and you have to have that positive outlook. And I'm having like a little spacey moment. Sorry.
No. And there's sound. I'm gonna have to figure that out. But the point is this, and I'm glad you said that, because it is a team. And, I'm looking at the directed by, and some people, they directed themselves, and or they have input. And I've been there on a set where I was like, they didn't let the director do anything. They told him what to do, and I'm like, that you want them to be a cinematographer. So, but sometimes you have a eye, and you go, I want that, and that's called input. And I say actors should do that, instead of just like, because sometimes I've been in conversations in the room where people go, why did they do that with that like position? I didn't know they did that. I say, look at the footage first. If you look at behind the scenes of big actors, even big actors will do this. Can I see it really quick? Or they look with the crew and they go, okay, and they see and they go, can we do it again? Do it again, because you can, right? And when you do this, you have something forever. And now other people, I'm not gonna lie, that poster like says a lot. But when I see it, I'm not gonna say, ooh, she can act even better. Ooh, she could write what? She could do a music what? Like, I said something to someone yesterday, like A League of Their Own, and I said, look, A League of Their Own had Madonna, but Madonna promoted it, so you could do that, right?
Yeah, what I wanted to add to just to finish the thought, a lot of these stories in the film, I feel like God was like, if you want to become this new person, you have to stop telling this story. You have to forgive yourself, also like kind of make amends and kind of come clean in order to have a reset. And this film holds such a special place in my heart, because it holds so much sentimental value, and like really represents an old version of me. And to also add to your thought on the framing of every scene, I was so grateful to have Justin be like, okay, let's storyboard. And I had never storyboarded. He literally sketched like the first few of our scenes. Like, we sat at a nearby Mexican restaurant and like just sketched out and like had a margarita and chips, and we're like, okay, like how do we want this to look? And we really wanted to be able to have, I remember expressing to him, like, I wanted to impact the emotions of the viewer, not only with the music and the story, but with the visual. Because everything placed in a film, I think, should have significance. I think should hold meaning. I think it makes the story more interesting, more captivating. And if you're gonna watch something, don't you want to feel something? Like, at least for me, I want to just, especially as a storyteller with music and acting, to kind of step more into, okay, now be in control of what are you showing people? Because as an actress, I get to show them different emotions and things like that. But to kind of share the director side with my director, Justin, he already had the visual and I had the acting. So it was like a really cool team, because then I could talk to my actors and be like, okay, cool. But every single one of my actors, like, honestly killed it for me. I was like, wow, I was so grateful. And actually, my the girl that plays the role of Amanda, my best friend, her name is Sophie Claire Cooper. She won Best Actress at one of the first festivals that we were in. And then I recently took home from the Studio City Film Festival Best Actress. So hers was for ARFF, Around the World Film Festival in Paris.
Got it.
So, yeah, so that was so exciting. So I had already felt so confident and grateful for the performances of my cast, but then to see the recognition from other festivals, it was just confirmation of like, yeah, like, this is so fun.
Oh, I'm glad you said that, and I'm glad you brought the fun to La Femme, because it's 2023. I've been doing this for a lot of years with La Femme. I got brought on kind of last minute, talking about like everything kind of aligning. You go, I've had so many people talk. You said context, and I want to put this out there to everyone watching, anyone tuning in. Even in the business world, you want to put your context together. Some people lose touch. And I go, don't lose touch, because you know who works with you eventually. They may move on, but you should check in and check in on them, and then say, okay, we can work together again. Because then you go, oh, I got another project. Or you get with someone that has a project, you go, I got a team. Then they're happy, right? Because it's all about the monies. Now, I'm glad you did this. It's, again, a short, I have so many questions. We're out of time, unfortunately. We got a lot of people today. But I think, if anything, I'm going to say good job. And you know what? I'm glad you did the music video / it really is a movie, but good job. And then good job teaming up with the director and saying, and I'm glad he did that, because it's really about storyboards sometimes. It's like, what are you looking for? I have a visual. Sometimes you look at other stuff. You go, I like that, and that. And you give them several movies. You go, oh, okay, I get it. Because the director can see it. They have their own input. If you know what they direct, then you go, but if you go with shots, then it goes really good, and then it goes more smooth, right? Because you go, that no, not that, I want that. And they go, oh, even better. And then if you do it over margaritas, everybody's happy. Put some guacamole in, some chips, and you're good, right?
Exactly. I had also made a tone and a mood board for him per his request. And I was like, all right, cool. So each scene, I knew the feel that I wanted in regards to the visual look of it. So I had like pulled from the internet from different movies and shows, and just like different color boards and vibes. I remember in one of the first tone boards, it was just a little girl like laying on the floor crying in like a messy kitchen.
Yeah.
And that was like I was like, kind of that energy. Like,
go with that. All right.
yeah, exactly.
I can't wait to see it. It's happening. It's going to happen at the Regal. Look, man, it is good for someone to be like at the Regal Cinema, because have you been there to LA, the Regal Cinema, and like seen like a movie, like, I don't know, anything?
This actually screened for the first time at the LA Shorts at Regal Cinema. So this is going to be its second time at the Regal. So I'm so excited. It airs Thursday the 19th at 2 p.m.
Okay, awesome. Even a reason to get there. And then if you can watch anywhere, just watch, because we have teamed up. We're a hybrid, so you can watch it from anywhere. So you cannot say, I cannot make it. I'm not in the area. I don't think so. They say, oh, traffic, or oh, I got to work. No, just support. Buy a ticket. Right, yeah. Click on the link. It's Eventive. Okay, thank you so very much, Sammy. Congratulations, and we'll see you probably. Are you going to the party?
Yeah, I'll see you Thursday.
Okay, we'll see you there. All right, we'll be right back right after this. We have with us Abby, and Abby, okay, I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at this. I don't even know what to make of it. It's right there. Thank you for putting the title there. Underneath it all, it's a comedy. It's a feature. It's a documentary about competitions, and I don't even know what that means. Help me out.
Yeah, so my feature documentary is about pun competitions. So a pun competition is, imagine like a rap battle, but people just make puns against one another. So it's kind of like a trivia, improv, stand-up comedy kind of hybrid, but people use wordplay as the medium.
Got it. Oh, I'm horrible with puns, but rhyming I can do. Okay, all right. So question, because I'm horrible when I'm on the spot. But question. Okay, what drew you to this? That's the obvious, because a lot of people don't know about. Maybe they do now, but it's like a different type of improv, right?
Right, yeah. So there are pun competitions all across the US, and I'm based in Seattle. I've always been a pun lover and like a casual workplace punner, but I had seen this advertised on Facebook at a local bar in Seattle and went to scope it out. And I'm a doc filmmaker. I had made several shorts up to that point, but I had never made a feature. And kind of in the back of my mind, I was thinking maybe it could be a fun story, but mostly I just wanted to check it out. And I ended up sitting next to somebody who's really involved with the scene. His name's David, and told me all about the O. Henry Pun Off, which is this big competition that happens once a year in Austin, and basically just kind of laid out the scene for me. And it was such a fun experience. Like, A, it was just a great comedy show, and B, it was really impressive, and everybody was so nice and friendly to me. And I was like, yeah, this needs to be my next project for sure. So I got the host, whose name is Forrest, and that was 5 years ago, and it just kind of snowballed into the project it is now.
Wow, that's a journey, right? Okay, so I have questions, so many questions. I'm gonna wait to see it, obviously, but for those tuning in and for those that go pun, what do we do with the pun? Can you give an example of like what it would go like?
Sure. So this is a very kind of cringy dad jokey example. Forrest, who's the host of the Seattle Slams, gives us an example of one she doesn't like because it's so cringy. But how do you tell the difference between a boy ant and a girl ant? If you drop it in water and it floats, it's boy ant. Like buoyant. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. I do not do well with those. Like, I would have never gotten that. Okay. All right. Got it. So I get it. So all right. You know what? Even better. I didn't know this existed. It gets your mind thinking and you go, didn't know that. All right. So, and I'm sure they get better, right? Is there a list of people that like, do they publish this? Cause I'm pretty sure people would cause I've seen websites that have this, right? It's like the joke of the day. You're like, I don't get it, but you have to say it the right way, right? No?
Yeah, puns are all over the internet. There's been a few books published about puns, and then also pun competitions. There are slams, like I said, all along the West Coast, in Texas, Brooklyn, the Midwest. So it seems like an underground scene, but as soon as you kind of like scratch the surface, it's a very kind of large.
I have so many questions right now because I've been to I've been and I've done it virtually. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I did something and I thought, that's interesting, and they kind of got stuck. And it was kind of like a karaoke thing, but they went like with the beat and they go doon 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 doon, and then they do that's a thing, right? This is completely different, but in a way, it's kind of like, hey, for the people that are in the room, I'll give you one. Oh my god, my uncle would love this. He tells me the weirdest stuff. He goes, get it? No one gets it except him, right? And he goes, that's the joke. No one gets it. And I go, you don't get it. That's horrible. But the point is this: the people must be really fun, huh? Because they're like, man, you don't even understand it till you understand. You go, right?
Yeah, the punners are such a blast, and it really is like the people whose brains operate that way. It's like a very like you get them together in a room like at a pun slam and they just get going. And I love puns and my brain has like started to really understand it. But even sometimes like I miss half of them. And actually in my film, I have like a kind of a graphic treatment where someone will make a pun and it comes up and it goes from like the normal word and then it switches to the pun word as like a device to help you get the joke. Because sometimes if you just hear them, it's hard to catch. Yeah. And I will say something about this film is it's definitely for pun enthusiasts and people who are like into this thing, but it's a safe place for people who don't love them, because it's a very kind of misunderstood type of humor. A lot of people don't hate puns or don't love puns, and they think they hate puns because they're like dad jokey or cringy. But I definitely have sympathy for that, and so I try to kind of bring people on board into the pun fold. In the film.
I say, who cares, man? That's how jokes get started, right? And there is something, I will tell you this. And they probably have something, like, if I got the people that you know, and like my uncle in the room, they would be very smart. He went and he got a Harvard degree. Okay, he has like his, like, he could have a doctorate, right? And no one knows this about him. He knows some very famous people throughout life. Okay, and he sometimes introduces me to them. He goes, "Yeah, I know them." I go, "Oh my god!" So he's very smart. So there's a mind. And it's interesting that you say this, because I've noticed something with people that get his jokes. They're very smart. They're very intellectual, you would say. And you go, I wonder if, and they just love having fun that way. But then you get them about a like topic, and they're very smart about it. They're usually like stuff like NPR. They like news that's smart, and they really are kind of independent with the thinking. And you go, and their brain is just different than others. I go, so it's funny that you said that. There's a movie called, I just saw it with Amy Adams. And it was where they do the circles, and she goes, you know what? Somehow that changes the way you think, and then they think about the future. I don't know if you saw it. It was the one with the big capsule thing. Anyway, can't remember. It's sci-fi, but the point is,
Arrival.
Yeah, that one. In a way, puns, I think, challenge the mind, and when you get it, go, all right, because it is a wordplay. But it's something very intellectual that some go, you don't get it, but you'll get it. And then when you get it, you go, you know what? That's actually very smart. When you finally figure out, we should do research on that. I'm just saying, I know it's completely different, but I think you could tap back into them, because I think they are the scientists in there. I think if Einstein were alive today, he'd be part of that. You know what I mean? That would be the fun.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you have to have this like vast vocabulary and just knowledge base, because, somebody will say like, make a pun about, dogs and books, and they'll take two things that have nothing really to do with each other, and they'll make some great pun combining those things. And so not only do you have to know like all the dog breeds and use those to make jokes, but also like all these books. And especially like the O. Henry pun-off in Austin is very competitive, and people will go head to head, and you only have 5 seconds in between being able to make a pun, and you can't repeat a pun, you can't repeat a word. And people will go on for like 30 minutes. It's like, give me like hundreds of puns in one routine. It's so impressive.
You just opened my mind to a whole thing I didn't even understand. All right, I know it's not about that, but I think in a way it is. There's something going on there, and I think there's another thing, because everybody's talking about AI, but AI has a hard time. It pulls from what it knows, but I think there's a way to actually make it smarter, and it's called give it the way they do it. And then, because the mind has something, and this is what rhymers do, like Eminem is about this, others are about this. You're like, how did they get that there so quick? And their mind just goes to sometimes to the beat, but sometimes it just gets the word in, and you're like, how did you turn that into a rhyme? Seriously. And it's something smart that you go, and if you actually do the math on a lot of these, they're geniuses. They're music geniuses, right? But pun artists, I think, is what's going to call it something, or maybe not, I don't know. Pun underneath it all covers it. That's what you need to know. I'm getting too deep. I get it. Be like lighthearted. I get it. I didn't know this existed, but I think in a way we should research people that are able to do puns really quick. And I think they're geniuses. They don't even know it.
Yeah, I completely agree. And while this film specifically is about pun slams and pun competitions, it's given me such an appreciation for puns just kind of everywhere in pop culture. Because like music, especially like hip hop and rap, is so full of amazing wordplay. And like you see puns in advertising, you see them on Twitter hashtags. Yeah. It's just like once you like see the puns in the world, you can't miss them.
Or the doubles, right? You're like, oh, that's what you mean. I didn't even see that right underneath your nose. I've been seeing that in certain like commercials. Like, oh, there it is. So it is a little complicated. I don't get it, but whatever. Watch Geico. They have a bunch of those right there. You know, you got to watch it and you go, what did they mean by that? I don't know. Anyway, all right. Thank you, Abby, for spending time with us. Good job on this. And it looks like you have a little feast there going on. It looks like you're celebrating. So good job. And are we going to see you at the party?
I won't be there Thursday. I come in Friday. I have a small baby, so I can't make it to the whole festival. But I screen on Saturday the 21st at noon.
Okay, awesome. Well, stay for the party and make plans along the way. I have some people coming in. They're going to make plans throughout that week. I say do anything where it gets like at next level, or meet with other people that can make you like either money or a lot of money eventually with like people that you could probably like do a film with at some point. So good job. Keep it going. Okay.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Aaron.
All right. More right after this.
Bye.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
We're here with Monique, and Monique, look, you got some things going on. I know you're always busy. I know I've seen you around town, and you're like always doing things. Lying is complicated. It's a comedy, proof of concept, which I don't even want to say how you shot it. I said something yesterday about animation. You could do it on your, I'm not going to say it, but whatever. People are still going to judge. But the point is this. It's a really, you tell me what it's about.
All right, so Lying is Complicated is a very short comedy about a woman who pretends she's engaged in order to get her best friend to be her maid of honor. And this film picks up basically when she has to keep up the ruse by getting her fake fiance to come to dinner with her to prove that this whole thing isn't a lie. And he's kind of mad at her.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense because nobody likes being lied to. Okay, so question I have. Good job, by the way. Now you shot this in a way that people go, wonder. And I said it's happened before. That it's been in festivals, but you did something with this, and I'm glad you did it. And thank you for bringing it to La Femme. This isn't your first, though, right? You've done others.
Yeah, well, I'm a triple alum of La Femme Film Festival now. This is my third film in La Femme. My first was Sorry Not Sorry. My second was Rockabye Baby. And now Lying is Complicated is my third comedy in a row to put in there. Yes.
I knew I remembered you. I remember Sorry Not Sorry. And I think the other one I remember too. Good job. Keep it going. What would you say to the people? I say this every single year. Sometimes people get, why? But I say, you don't understand who's watching. You never know. There's some people, I'll give you an example. We do ABC, right? But sometimes we have people and they're like in other parts of the US, right? And they say, I'm going to do a film or I am doing a film and I'm going to do this. But you did this on your phone. And I love that you say that quite adamantly. Because I have a question on this and I think people should do this. I had this come up yesterday. Somebody said, you know what? That interview got me thinking. I said, yeah, but you don't have to do big budget. All you have to do is something because you just need the frame. And if you have the frame, somebody said something earlier about, storyboarding, but there's a way to do it. You can reenact everything you want to do with your phone. And then you show that to the person who's going to shoot it. You go, does that work? They go, I think a better angle works. You go, what about this angle? And then you could do it virtually. And then when you're together, you know what you're going to do, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and I've also seen a lot of people when they're setting up a shot use their iPad as well, because there's a camera on there. So you can kind of share the frame on your iPad. In this case, I was just like itching to make something. And, I love the feature film this is based on. And I felt like what a great opportunity to make a short proof of concept that sort of shows you what the tone is going to be in the feature film. There was this actress named Kelly Vrooman who I'd seen around the festival circuit with my last couple shorts and who I just think is so talented and was so right for the role. And I really wanted to do something with her. So this was a great opportunity to do that. And then I met this other actor, Nick Cregan, when I was at the Cannes Film Festival with my other film, and so we had connected, and I was like, let's try and do this together. So it was just kind of a fun exercise for all of us. And the phone is like, here's the phone I shot it on. I basically just used the pop socket like this to hold it and stabilize it. But this is actually not an iPhone. It's a Galaxy S22.
Nice.
And they have like all these pro video settings in the phone native, like 4K. So we actually shot on 4K. I mean, it's not raw, so it was difficult to color correct, but it was 4K quality. They have grid lines on the screen so you can tell if you're holding the camera straight or not, and I ended up kind of doing like almost all of the production jobs myself. I did, the writing, directing, producing. I did the cinematography. I did have one person on set who was kind of helping me, listening to the sound and also spotting me, because as I was walking backwards, kind of doing a steady cam style shot, but literally just like this, or I guess that's upside down, but like
It's all
this.
right. Yeah.
If I had to make sure someone was behind me so I didn't fall down the steps.
That makes sense.
So stuff like that. So I had one other person on the crew with me. And then in post-production, I also continued to do like the editing and the music and the sound design. And the one area where I really wasn't able to do it myself was color correction.
Yeah, I've done that with color correction because we literally have done interviews on the spot. Sometimes the camera, like, is being used somewhere else. I go, guys, we're only going to get this right now. And we have like a big person, right? I go, just do it. But I want to point on something that you mentioned. And I think it's important. Because the iPhone can only do so much when it comes to the audio. You did the audio separate, right?
Yeah, we got lavalier mics.
There you
and
go.
we plugged them into a separate Zoom and used the slate to sync it, basically.
Good. I'm so glad you said that because that's how you get around. Because we have a mic and then we Jimmy rigged in behind the mic a little lavalier as well. But we connected that to the phone. But the problem is sometimes when you connect it, it's not taking the audio. You go, shoot, we missed it. So we've done that a couple of times. So don't do that. But keep it on a separate device and you're good to go. We've done that. We've had more than one phone. So record on one device and then you're good to go. And then you can monitor. You just have to buy some little adapters and you're good to go. And then boom. But I love that you say this. You say it's a proof of concept. So even then you say, okay, now we're ready to go because these are the shots that we want. And this is basically the story we want to tell, right? Even though you said it was an exercise.
Yeah, I mean, it was an exercise, but I still wanted it to be like a full short film with a beginning, middle, and end that people could enjoy as a self-contained film, So I hope that people don't come and go like, oh, I didn't get it. I think you'll still get the concept just behind this particular short film and the humor behind it. But yeah, it was really an opportunity to show like what the main character is like, how she talks, and also the filming style that I'm hoping to use. And this starts out with like a pretty long, flowy moving take, sort of in a low budget Mrs. Maisel style, if you will. So I wanted to practice that as well.
Well, and I'm glad you're doing it. Congratulations on all that you're doing. People are commenting on social media. Keep it coming, and please do share. But keep it going, okay? And thank you for inspiring people on what you can do. But it's not for everyone. And I say this because what you don't understand is you need, did you have a script ready to go, or did you just do it on the cuff? How did that go? Because there is development. It's not like you just point and click.
Yeah, I had the feature script already, and then I developed the short film script from one of the scenes. But it didn't just work to take the scene and just film it as is. I had to change it. I had to add things because, like I said, I wanted it to have a beginning, middle, and end and be a self-contained piece as well as being a scene from the movie. So yeah, I had the script, and then I had the feature script, and then I developed the short script from the feature script. So it's an adaptation.
Well, I love that you did that. And I have colored things from a phone, and I go, it's not the same. So there's something with the setting or the way they capture it. But anyway, it's good to show someone at the end of the day, this is what we're going for, guys. Okay, got it. And then you shoot with but good job. And thank you for doing it. And thank you for proving it can be done. We say it all the time, but people don't get it. I go, just watch that. You're good to go. Thank you, Monique, for spending time with us, and keep going with that. All right.
All right. Great. Thank you. Thanks.
We got more right after this. Stay tuned. We're here with Tiffany, and Tiffany, look, Tiffany's got something that I'm going to say, whoa, okay. How to deal with fame, which happens to be I'm going to let you talk about this because if I guarantee, you talk about it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is How to Deal with Fame is a musical short that focuses on essentially a character who an actress who is a bit more masculine presenting. She gets the role of her lifetime, where she is playing a character that's kind of the opposite of her, very feminine, a lot more, giving you something completely different than what she generally dresses and carries herself as. But then when her mom comes to the performance, it starts kind of a conversation of kind of where her womanhood is and what that means for her. It's essentially a story about a Black woman and her mother, and kind of that mother-daughter relationship in the form of a musical, because why not?
I like it. I like it, and it's something. How long is it?
It's about a 20-minute short. It's actually a pilot presentation for a series, actually.
I love it. I say this, and because the description says a musical short about Black womanhood and how to deal with fame. I think is interesting because you go, oh, huh, and then when you see it, what do people say when they first see it?
The short, usually they're like, wow, you did a whole musical. But I think a lot of conversations around, or my goal with it, at least in the conversation of how to deal with fame, is this idea of gender performance and how we perform for others. And so there's a lot of conversations. I've had a lot of people express their relationship between their mother and their daughters, more specifically, like mothers or daughters who are like, wow, that's the kind of relationship I had with my mom, where it's kind of hard for them to see you as you are versus what they want society to see you as. So a lot of people have commented on that, their relationship, and also that it's very colorful. It's a lot of fun. This kind of very intimate relationship told in this grand musical I think it's fun for people to watch.
Well, and 20 minutes is, first of all, a musical is already hard. How did you get the music?
I wrote it. I wrote the lyrics, and then I had a really dope composer who just sat with me and kind of built out the musical elements of it. And then I had my actors sing, and it was a lot of fun. It was probably more work than I realized when I first jumped in, because you had to have like a whole other addition to like rehearsals and things like that. You also had to have recording of the music. But yeah, I wrote all the music for it. And that was a lot of fun to try to kind of turn scenes into songs. So.
Yeah. And you know what I love about it? If anything, and I do like musicals. When I was younger, I was like, I do not get it. But right? Because when you're young, you go, I don't get it, right?
It's definitely an acquired taste, which is why I think it's been interesting to hear people kind of talk about whether they like musicals or whether they don't. But I also think it's just a really great way to tell stories. So,
well, and again, that was when I was young. Now, I watched a musical, and I think NBC picked it up, and we interviewed some of the people from the musical, and I said, whoa, I get it now. And I have an appreciation for musicals now. I never when I was young. So my point is, somebody can always be converted. Did you convert anybody that's seen it?
I think so. I like to believe that I did. I did have like one person who was like, I'm not even really into musicals, but I got the story. I try to not make it too, because sometimes some musicals can be very like sarcastic or very I try to by having it in this story where it's like the performance, like the theatrical performance is itself a musical, it kind of lends to making it a little bit less like, I guess, I don't know, annoying. I don't know how people feel about musicals, but
I think it's all over. But I'll give you, okay, I love, and people say that's not a musical, but I love Moulin Rouge. Now that's a different type of musical. That's more like music video, right? It's not a musical. People would say, but I've been to like, and people are like, we're not about theater. I go, but I mean, everything is turned into a musical. So it's very difficult to capture what a musical is. But I haven't seen it, so I need to see it, and then I know I'm going to appreciate it just like that person. So keep it going, keep doing. What's next?
Well, I'm hoping to kind of continue working with this film to see where it goes, wanting to build it out even further to kind of create a series around it, but also working on a couple of web series and things of that sort, to really just trying to tap into the shorter form storytelling versus like features and TV series. So that's the hope there. But I do hope this film kind of builds out a conversation a little bit around what it means to kind of perform your appearance and kind of what that means for how the limitations it might have for yourself or for the people around you in terms of like how we fit into these constructed boxes that we call like womanhood, manhood, all those things like that. So I think that has been most fun to talk to people about across this journey of like making this film. So
well, and I'm glad you did. I think it opens, like, how do I say it? It's a difficult conversation to have, and then you understand. You go, I get it now, and I think that's what. If I get anything, that's where you go. Look, you don't have to be. You understand now, and you go, yeah, exactly, right. That's what you want at the end of the day.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely been a lot of fun. A lot of the cast and crew, I think, again, like it being a musical, it was shot in 4 days. It was shot, all in the same place, but we had to try to make everything bigger and grander than it needed to be. And I think that process itself was like a great opportunity to still talk about the purpose and goals of the project as well. So.
Can I just? I know everybody's thinking about it. That behind you looks like a writer ready to go. All those Post-its. That looks like a storyboard. Is that a storyboard that you like? You know what I mean? Because I'm inspired. I wish I were that organized. You know what I mean?
It is not as organized as one might say. I feel like it's more of an illusion that it's a lot more organized, but it is a bit of notes around just. Sometimes it's even inspirational quotes when I just need to get through the day. But it is a lot of writing things, planning things, a lot of things.
Do you have a writer mind? That would be a writer's to go. I recognize that. That's a storyboard and that's a project ready to go. Because they say it's beats. It's not beats. It's called Where Does It Go Eventually. I did one recently. I said, I understand it now. Because I was with the writer. He goes, this is how I do my outline. And then I do the dialogue next. I go, oh, that's how I do it. I didn't know that. And I did that on something. I go, oh, that's where it goes eventually. I need to figure out the dialogue now. So you're doing that without knowing, I think. And when you get with writers, you go, I've been doing that my whole life. Because you're a writer. You're a writer. So keep it going. All right.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right. We got more right after this. Stay tuned. We're here with Christy and Danielle. You guys have a story. It's called Work-Life Balance. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't think I have any of that. How do you get work-life balance? Is it a thing you want? Is it something that, like, how did you do this?
Well, we don't have work-life balance either. So
that makes sense.
We created a short that was very much us striving to honestly upset the work-life balance of our characters. If there's one thing I've learned as a writer, it's that you need to add gasoline to the flame as opposed to solving your character's problems.
Okay, and I'm glad you said that. How did you two meet?
We're in the same acting class. So we've been working together studying for 4 years now.
Yep.
Okay, Danielle, obviously being that long. I will say, let's do this over again. Sorry, We're happy to echo. It's so bad. You guys don't hear it.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
Yeah. So I don't want to keep it going because it just gets worse. Let's figure that out real quick. We had this happen yesterday, so it's not you guys. Don't worry about it. We'll and then Adam's really good. We're editing stuff. We decided to distribute. So let's figure that out real quick because I'm hearing myself again on. I think it's Christy that we're hearing now, right, Adam?
Great.
Yeah. She needs to have headphones on.
And then Danielle, while you're on, let's just test you. Go ahead and say
Yeah, it's okay for me now. I can hear you and there's no echo.
There it is. Yeah, because it creates a loop of a loop. Yeah. That's why I was like, somebody was like, why were you on that person yesterday? I go, well, because it creates a problem eventually. So I gotta figure it out. It's all right. It's how it is when you live.
There's always going to be technical issues.
And I'm glad you guys are actors because then you really get it. There you are. She just wanted the bottom portion. Look at that. She's like, I look better in the. I'm just kidding. Okay, Christy, can we test that really quick?
Sure. Testing. 1, 2, 3. As I was
Yay,
walking
it works.
circle, I saw
Okay.
a piece of paper.
Daniel, go ahead and talk.
Testing 1, 2. Testing. Hopefully no echo.
Okay, we're good to go. Okay.
The fact that I'm an actor and managed to figure out a technical problem, I am like over the moon with myself.
You should be. You should be. I have so many actors that go, I don't get it. I go, recast. Okay. Just kidding. Okay.
No.
All right.
Wow.
If they don't get how to turn on something, I mean, so no, I'm just kidding. All right, Adam, go ahead. We're here with Danielle and Christy, and you guys got a project called Work-Life Balance. Yeah, look, and thank you for bringing it to La Femme. I don't know, is this your first year being with La Femme?
It is.
Yeah. This
Okay,
is our
so-
first time figuring out film festivals. That's where we've been an actor on a ton of things. I'm recurring on Days of Our Lives, but this is my first time really making a short from start to finish. So that's the level that we're at.
Okay, good, and keep it going. And Danielle, obviously you guys met. You're doing this together. You're keeping it going. And you know, like this particular project, Work-Life Balance. Who made it happen first? Who was the one that said, "Look, let's do this, and let's get it done"? Because it's hard doing a project like that, like you just said, Christy, and working full time. You know.
Mm-hmm. Work-life balance is definitely the brainchild of Christy. She came up with the concept. She wrote it. She wrote a pilot for it and then condensed the script into a proof of concept, which is what we filmed. And I joined the project about 2 weeks before filming. So really had to hit the ground running with developing the shot list, rehearsing with the actors, just kind of, you know, making sure I could capture Christy's vision of what she wanted as well as what I visioned the project being. And we filmed it in one day, one location, and got a great film that we're very proud of.
Okay, and I'm glad that you have it. Christy, obviously doing this, it's not easy. Now you know that part of it because you go into production, it's ready to go, you bring it, you do some amazing stuff, but then you go and then the rest of the crew, they take the time. So what's that like? What appreciation do you have for production now?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, what Danielle left out in terms of she came out of the project 2 weeks before, my ex-boyfriend was supposed to direct it. He wasn't an ex at the time, for the record, but we broke up soon after. And we had a disagreement about like whip pans, and to the point where I'm like, this is now a couple fight, and like basically like I shouldn't try and work with someone I'm dating. But that was 2 weeks before the project. And then I was at a loss because I knew I needed a director because I was also acting in it. And Danielle and I were doing a scene together for our acting class. And she was like, well, I'll throw my hat in the ring. And I was like, great, you're hired. And then she managed to do all this work for free. I think that was the biggest thing that I learned as a first-time filmmaker is people are going to drop out last minute. Fires are going to happen last minute. And the trick, as much as possible, if you can keep your emotions level and just like solve the next problem, that's all you can do. But know that like there will be fires.
Yes, thank you for saying that. You understand that. And I think if anything, and people, they don't understand, when you're pulling favors, you really kind of have to go, got it. Whatever you need, right? And you're about that. When you get paid, it's a little different because you go, got it. You're going to be there, obviously. But when there's something that comes up, you go, I get it. You have a job. I get it. That comes before this. Does that kind of push things out in a way? And you're like, shoot, right? Because you got to be really nice, you know?
Yeah, very much so. I think one of the things that I learned was you have to identify your key people. So whatever that means, if it's the lead actors, if it's the director, if it's the DP, if it's the sound person, for different projects, it's different people. And find a date that works for them or however many days. And you like come rain or storm, as long as those 2, 3, 4 people don't drop out, you will continue. Anyone else drops out, you recast, you find a different director, you find a different set decorator, you find a different whatever, but you identify your key people and then realize that like as long as these people show up on the day, I'm good, and if not, that's when we figure out to recast. Hell or high water, that's how short films get made.
Sometimes I've been there. I literally have had a whole, because we've had projects And I go, okay, guys, we're ready to go. We're ready to go, ready to go. And then all of a sudden somebody doesn't show up. They don't even call. And you go,
Yeah.
What do I do with that? And I go, I should have seen the writing on the wall because you were not in it to win it. But anyway, and then things come up with it, but they could at least tell you what came up, but they don't tell you. And then you use them on another project, same thing. I go, that's a behavior you need to get rid of. We're still friends, but I'm not going to use you again. Seriously, I cannot trust you. But Danielle, what's that like working on a project that, and again, Christy's got, a bank of stuff that she's working on, obviously. She has a job, but then you pull this together. Do you invite the cast to say, hey, or do you say, I don't want you to know what I did because I was busy. That's why I don't always pick up the phone.
I'm sorry, what is the question?
Yeah, I don't know either.
Well, Christy said,
Aaron, you just had a conversation with her yourself.
I'm so sorry. Christy, you said, look, you have a regular job, right? That's what you do, but you did this on the side. Sometimes people don't understand through it all because you go, I cannot answer every phone call. I've been talking to actors and writers and directors all the time. That's what we do. That's what we're on Hollywood, Live Today on ABC. But the reality is people don't understand behind the scenes. People are like, why didn't they not return my call? Because you're putting a project together. Now you're bringing it to La Femme. Now people understand, but sometimes people don't invite their friends. I don't know why.
What was the question?
What's that like?
Of not including friends in the
No, you work with friends, but see, it's work-life balance. How do you work with it all? What the story? Let's talk about it.
I mean, I'm like Christy. I have a full-time job. I work in corporate communications marketing, and that's kind of been all I've known on this journey. Is I've worked full-time, and I'm pursuing this dream and this passion, and it is about balance of doing good work so that you can survive and thrive and be able to give to your art, but not be giving so much to your job or an area that doesn't feed your soul so that you have something to give to your art. So it is difficult, but every actor in LA is balancing that in some way, whether they're working a full-time job or they're working multiple jobs. And I think actors were underestimated and underrated in just our ability to get things done and balance life and go after what we want to do. And we're here to make it work and figure it out, and we're doing it.
Yeah, and I wish that was going. I said this, and I wanted to make a thing about it. I wanted to do the day life of a actor or a producer, because producers like, I'm a producer. I go, but you have a job, right? People used to ask me that. What do you do to make a living? And I go, well, you don't really want to know, but, and then I would tell them, right, because I had a day job. But people don't want to put that out there. Go, I'm going to be seen as that because I'm this. I go, you got to make, how are you going to pay the bill, right? Because some things are independent. But you guys did independent, but keep it going, because you never know when you're looking for another job, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And it's so true to be able to balance all of that. It's so challenging. And I think that people, a lot of times when they move here, they don't recognize the reality of that situation. I mean, at the end of the day, SAG-AFTRA Strong, that is why we're striking, is because it's so hard for the working actor to make a living wage. And I think that more and more people, not only in Hollywood, but outside of Hollywood, are realizing that. And that's what this whole fight has been about.
Yeah, and then productions like you keep it going. You ask for favors, and you go, I get it, but we don't have the money, just so you know, guys. Because then people go, well, is this SAG or after? You go, guys, this is independent, okay? Because people don't understand the world of independence sometimes. Now you get it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so keep it going, keep it, and thank you for bringing it to La Femme. La Femme is all about independent. We're about big stuff too, because that's what we want. We want it to be. Oh, what's the future of this? Where are you going to want to take it?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for asking. So the amazing thing about creating this proof of concept was that we now have a full pitch deck. We have a series outline for the rest of the web series, or we're hoping to pitch it as a television show with the pilot written and hopefully to get a show Bible going. So if you know someone who's looking for a workplace comedy that will be very cheap to make and is female driven, hilarious, think Bridesmaids in the Workplace, then please, please, please reach out to Danielle Swanson or Christy St. John on Instagram.
See, she did it. I keep telling people, you got to promote. That's how you promote. That's how you get it out there. Keep it going. Good job.
That's an actor right there. That's watch. Yeah.
Yeah. And send them the link so they actually get it. Then you go, see, now let's do it. All right. Because now we have a budget. And then that's when it goes next level. Good job, you two. Keep doing. And I know you got more projects. Is there anything else in the works?
No, we're just very honored and thankful to be a part of this festival. And we're excited for the screening. And thank you for having us. Christy, anything to add?
I have because I'm working. I have a YouTube comedy channel. So if you go to Comedy Chips, then you can see my sketch work. And Danielle knows this. I'm working on a feature, and she's gonna get direct another proof of concepts coming
Oh
soon.
my gosh.
Keep it private. We're gonna do it on
Partnership
our own.
continues.
The
Yeah, keep it
partner,
private.
you're stuck with me, girl.
There you go. That's how you do it. All right, keep going, you two. Keep it going. Have fun, and we'll see you at La Femme.
Amazing.
See you
Thank you,
there.
Aaron.
You know, in the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
We have with us someone that I can guarantee you're going to want to see more of. We've got both Liz and we got Chef Susan in the house. And I've been wanting to see this. I saw this. I looked at the list. I said, oh, I have so many questions on this because I'm so hungry and I need to be fed. It says you never know how it's going to pan out. Fort, talk about it. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, I followed Susan. Well, first of all, we're life partners.
Even better.
Even better, yeah. Or awful. But Susan decided a number of years ago that she was going to separate for one project from her partner in business, who they had been in business 34 years together.
34.
Whatever.
At the time. Okay, fine.
And so she had to do everything from our home for this new restaurant that she was trying to create called Susan Feniger's Street. And it was all global street food. So we went a-traveling to Vietnam, to Shanghai, to Singapore, and then everything had to be done out of our house because she wasn't really allowed to use their shared kitchens, shared staff. And I thought, hey, this is really unusual. She's at the top of her career, top of her field, and she's basically starting over like a newbie. Somebody should record this. I didn't mean me.
Smart. That's smart. You appreciate, and you're like, nobody else is appreciating what I appreciate, right?
Right. And also, it's a good story. And as a storyteller, I recognize this is really interesting, but I'm not a DP. I'm not a cinematographer. It's not my thing. I didn't even own a camera. So I picked one up and away we went. And what I found was that when I had the camera, Susan was herself. And she let me film herself, her real self, not the professional chef that she shows on the air when she's on Good Morning America or on Food Network or any of those judging TV shows she does. She was like in her pajamas, dancing with the dog, doing all that.
I was just, doing what I do. So for me, it was easy.
And I'm glad you said that because, and I'm so glad you said that, Liz, because I've been in front of people, right? And I see the on-air personality, right? And then I see the person when they're not on the they're not on the air, and I go, man, that's so much more interesting. But sometimes they hold to it so much, and I go, no, you're still that personality. And then when they just let loose, you go, that's what I want to see. Isn't that amazing when you get that? And you're like, if people saw that, they would get, what I have to deal with all the time. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you say that too, because I had to sometimes say to Susan, don't talk to them out there. Talk to me. Because that's more intimate. And ultimately, someone in the theater is going to be the camera. They're going to feel like you're talking to them. And the thing is, on those shows, they demand that you talk to the audience. It's a different animal.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I've had to learn that. Okay. And I'm not going to lie. No one ever picks up and thank God they don't, because I'd be like, please don't put that out there, because I'm always thinking, I'm in a position. Sometimes I'm like, they're like, stand up straight and go, I'm trying to think, and I'm in position. I'm just like, but when you have a camera on you, you're always there. But then when you keep it on and you just let it be free, I think I'm going to say Chef Susan. How do you like to be called, Chef?
No, you can just call me Susan.
Okay, awesome.
I call her idiot, but that's just me.
Oh, she loves you so much. Okay, yeah. So I think you make food even interesting. But here's the question that I have. I'll call you, okay, Susan.
You can call me Susan.
Okay, thank you. Susan, I have a question, and the question is this. As a chef, you
Yeah.
put on that thing because you're like, I need to educate you. You do not know how to do this. But then she goes, but you need to keep the fun. So the question I have is, can you keep it all the time? Because I think people will get it now, especially with this film.
Yeah, I mean, I think even when I'm on TV without Liz, I think, I have fun with it, but it's very, I mean, I'm never taken too seriously, but I do think that, when over the whole year of being in the house and filming, we were just testing recipes and having fun and tasting, and we sort of ignored that the camera was even there. So, I wasn't focused on there being a camera. Whereas when I'm doing TV or when I'm doing, anything like that, I am focused on, okay, well,
but you did try to make me laugh. And that's why I thought this was funny and fun and that is actually why I thought I didn't have a movie, because Susan would include me.
Yeah.
And I was behind the camera. And when I looked at the footage, I thought, well, I can't make a film out of this because I'm kind of in it. She keeps referencing me, and sometimes it was us alone at night, and she's working.
I'm not here. I'm just watching.
Right. Yeah. She says, "Here, taste this," and so you'd see I'd have to reach in and grab something. But then I realized, you know what? That actually is the film. It's partially it's not really about us, but it includes us. It includes our relationship.
Well, I'm glad you put that out there, because I've interviewed a lot of people here, and some, they say a lot and they say you don't get it, and then you get, because it's the behind that no one gets, and I think that's the part where people go, did we put that out there? So I'm going to say, obviously you saw it, Susan, right? Like you know what it's about. Do you have sometimes that moment of, I didn't know you put that out there? Do you ever have that and you go, we didn't talk about that, or you're like, you can know?
We didn't talk about anything. I actually never saw the film until we did the Friends and Family screening, because
I wouldn't let her.
Liz was editing, and she was editing with an editor in London. Not that she would have let me anyways, but
yeah.
Liz was editing with an editor in London.
We were doing Zoom, which was not easy, but the last week we went together with our producer, Lisa Donmal-Reeve, and she actually is from London. So we all went over and edited together in one room. But continue.
Yeah, well, Liz would be editing at like 3:30 in the morning. So when I'd wake up like at 7 and make a coffee, I'd walk over, and Liz and the editor, who was wonderful, would be there on the screen. So I'd see like 1 second of something, but then I never saw any of it.
Don't look, because you're going to change it.
This is none of your business.
They change it. You cannot let them. Yeah.
No, that's none of her business.
And I didn't, honestly, I was sort of always in the place of like, I don't know who's going to want to see this. But then I saw it, and it's like, I love the energy of how the adventure goes in the film. I think that's cool.
Susan she thought this was going to be a movie about her trying to create this restaurant and everything that happened that went wrong. That's what she thought the film was about. And I knew that she didn't understand this. And some of this I developed as we went along, being that it was a verite style feature. And I didn't really have it planned out. But really, I say this is a film about reinvention. And it's about not if one fails, but how. And that has got nothing to do with a restaurant.
You know what? That's different. I don't think anybody would have taken it there. And you know what? Sometimes it takes someone to know you, or rather, I should say, someone that knows you can put it in a different way because they understand who you are rather than sometimes who you are on camera. And that's what you want there eventually, because people just know a little of your life. They don't know all of it. And I think, Liz, you really capture that in this. And I think if anything, that's why Susan's like, I saw it. It's a little, but you know what? Thank you. And you go, you don't get it, man. That's who you are all the time, right?
I'm going to tell you something. She saw it. She loved it.
I did. I really did.
Loved it.
It was really wonderful to sort of see where I imagined the movie and then where it went. Because I think, everybody can see a restaurant being built. So it's not really that. It's the vehicle of the restaurant being built, yes, but the travel and the sort of experiences that happen, and then sort of where things go.
And it's also about inspiration.
Yeah.
And where people get inspiration from and how, and then what one does when things don't go the way you planned. See, because you never know how it's going to pan out.
I love that. I love that. All right. Well, I know we've run out of time, but I want to say thank you for bringing it. I cannot wait to see this in its entirety. So keep it going, keep doing, and keep making film. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal, right?
Yeah. Well, what else did you want to say?
Oh, I just want, at 2 p.m. on Saturday, the 21st at La Femme.
Yeah, promote. And
Yeah,
if you're not able,
we have a giveaway.
We
That's
forgot.
cool.
We have an Instagram giveaway we're doing. Oh my God.
go ahead, say it.
Okay.
You
We're
get
doing 2 tickets to our screening on the 21st.
Smart.
And including two dinner for 2 at Socolo, which is Susan's restaurant in Santa Monica. And another package is 2 VIP passes to the whole festival. We're giving away those on Instagram, and it's Liz Lockman Instagram, it's Susan Feniger Instagram, or it's Fork the Film.
So you go on there and tells you how you can win those packages.
Contest. Don't get overwhelmed.
Can I fire myself so I can enter this competition? Is it one of those where when you're affiliated, you can't go to because they have a restaurant they're giving like some food? I want food. Can you fire me now? All right, I'll figure that out. I want to enter, but I cannot enter because I'm part of the festival. All right. Good job. Keep it going. And thank you for putting that out there. We're gonna promote that. Okay. We got like all right.
Absolutely. Good.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Be great, be wonderful, and keep it going.
Okay. Thank you.
We're here with the people that make it happen. I'm not going to lie. It's pretty amazing. It's something that I think you guys are all going to be really wanting to watch. It's called Talk, and it's a music video about love and the inner child, or it says and inner child. So help me with that. What's it about?
So this is Deacon's song from his debut album, The New Earth, and we wanted to make something that we want people to relate to. And one thing that kind of popped up in me and Deacon's conversation has been, the balance between self-love, wanting to love someone, wanting to give love, and to take care and acknowledge our inner child at the same time. So that is the main mission behind the music video.
Okay, so I got questions. I see Ari there. Thank you, Deacon. Awesome. So how did this all happen? How did everybody meet?
So me and Deacon met at NYU when I was a senior. We actually met on a spreadsheet because in my class I got the opportunity to connect with Clive artists, and that's where I sent Deacon a little email. And Ari worked on the first collaboration that me and Deacon had as a gaffer, and we kept in touch, and we vibe really well, and I can tell that he's super talented. And when the second collaboration rolled around, and I wanted Ari to be my director of photography, and he absolutely killed it. So that is how everybody met.
Okay, so I'm going to go to you, Deacon, since she mentioned you. What was that like when you go, what is this message about? And did you know it was going to get where it's at now? Like, oh, people are going to see it.
Yeah, so at my school, basically, my major is recorded music, and everyone in it is sort of an artist and working on their own music. And so when I got the email, I was like, this is a great opportunity to not only meet great creatives, but also, have a music video done, which is like something that's usually quite expensive and quite an ordeal to plan. So our school was able to help provide certain things equipment wise, and meeting Zishan and Ari and putting together a great team to do it was probably the best part, because we've made relationships that are going to last for a long time.
I love that you said that. Good job. I don't even know the music and I want to see it. All right. What was that like being brought, like the whole, like you guys are doing things, I guarantee you're going to take it like probably, well, we're kind of international, but some say we're national, we're international, whatever. But we're national. Let's go with the national thing. Where do you think it's going to go next?
I mean, I'm just. I mean, we're all graduated recently. Zeke and I are still in school. We all kind of talk about all the time that it'll just be so amazing to see in 5 or 10 years where we all are. Deacon is, still making really fantastic music, and kind of seeing his career accelerate like that is just going to be awesome. And Z's making some great content and stuff nowadays as well, and directing and producing. And it's really fun as young people to work together at this stage in our lives, because we'll be able to look back and see where we came from.
Good. Remember this interview. Okay, because here's what I'm going to say really quick. And I'm glad you guys have appreciation for each other, because Deacon, you hit it home, right? You said usually this stuff costs a lot. I got it. And this, like, you got someone that believes in you, saw what you do, and say, I can help you with that because I have something that we could do. And then you put it together. And I think at the end of the day, people go, that's actually really good. Then you go, okay, we could do something else, because people, and I say this, hold on to the people for life. And I'm glad you said this, Ari, because you're so smart on this. You're ahead of it. And Ari, I can see you as a really big producer, but Zishan, what do you want to see with this whole thing? Like future, like in the next, because Ari's already there, and Deacon, you totally got it. So keep going with that. Zishan?
I graduated and I'm currently in the middle of the strike. I found a job as an in-house director and producer at a software company that make branded content for them. So instead of making advertisements, I make branded videos that tells the missions about why the company is making these products, rather than hey, buy this is great, this is cheap, or similar contents. Like I still edit and help produce contents like that, but I think diving deeper into the brand and the people that I'm help telling the story to is really what I'm passionate about. And I think that is also what comes up when I'm collaborating with Deacon, because it's his song and I'm helping making the music video. So for both projects that we worked on together, we have really close communication. And does this feel right to you? Like Deacon is a script editor and also helped me write the script for Talk, this music video. And yeah, you can see that there's a lot of both of us, and you can tell it in the music video, and that's what I love when it comes to a collaborative project like this. And I also wanted to point out that Deacon makes his music from his dorm with his 2 friends, or 3. It's called Ace High. I don't know if Deacon want to dive a little bit into it to promote Ace High, because I know I love people like our generation are like really pushing ourselves out there, get outside of comfort zone to be like, we're gonna get this and then do our best.
Deacon, what do you think?
Yeah, to me, what's really special about this entire thing is, like Z mentioned, the song was made in my dorm with my friends. I produced the majority of the track, and we wrote it all together. And they're artists as well in their own right. They were, part of the music video as well. But in a similar way, Z and Ari and I, we all do different things. We're interested in making full feature films, where Z's talked about her current job. And something really special about it is we all do a bunch of different things, and us being able to come together on this specific project was really special. But you never know the different things or different mediums we could end up working on in the future. And these guys are so talented, and I feel like this is just the start of something that's going to be, it's a small industry, and we're going to see each other again.
Good.
It's going to make me so proud when I see them killing it, because I know they
will.
Well,
and usually people think a music video is only going to be seen literally, and that's why I say, man, you guys are so ahead, you don't even know it, because the music video you see, like we used to see it back in the day, I don't want to say it, like MTV, VH1, whatever. Now you see it on YouTube, right? You see a Vivo and all the new things on, but you go, I didn't know they could be seen in a film festival. And you go, what is with that? And I love that you said that, Deacon. Thank you for focusing on that, because you guys are about a movie. I guarantee it. And when you figure that out, or did you already figure that out? What's going to happen with this? Because I think you should do now. And then when you may not do it like in person, because you're all the way, where you guys all located?
We're all at New York at the moment.
Okay, so coming out here is pretty hard. But I guarantee you just network with people, and then people will hit you up. People have hit me up on LinkedIn. Have a LinkedIn ready to go. Have your profile ready to go, and then hook up with the people that you trust, because these people have your back. You know what I mean? Because people will take advantage in the industry, Deacon. I interview so many people on the show. I've had so many people that tell me the stories behind the scenes. I go, Ugh, but trust the people that you trust. Okay, I know we're out of time, but do you guys have any last words?
Thanks so much for having us. We're excited to be there.
Yes, Deacon actually has a concert at LA that weekend as well, and I'm also flying out to attend the LA Femme. We will be there at the screening, and very excited to see everybody there and to see all the other very talented projects that we are able to, join the screening together.
So they are here. All right. So you guys did not say that. All right. So make it time worthy, meaning make meetings during that week, and then I don't know what else is going on during that week. I think there's some other stuff that we can combine, and then just don't put the fun last, but put the business first, and then you'll be ahead of it. Okay.
Thank you so much.
We'll
All
try.
right, more after this. There
Thank
you
you.
go. See you there. We're here with Amplifying Feedback Loop. I'm not going to lie. I saw this, and it was like a really quick little, like when you see it, you go, what's that about? And I have so many questions on this, but help me out. It's obviously something really good, and we got Vanessa with us. Vanessa, what's this about? Because I saw it. It did tease it, but, we got to figure it out, because I have people for like 8 minutes, and they go, just be there. I go, no, you don't get it. You got to promote it. So what's it about? Amplifying Feedback Loop. What's it about?
Yeah, Amplifying Feedback Loop is a very short 2D and stop motion animated film that is an advocacy piece calling for climate action or community action, and advocating for the need for sustainable futures. That answers your question.
It does. And I love the video. It's really I'm like, oh man, feedback loop. I have so many questions on that. So why the title Amplifying Feedback Loop? What some people don't understand what it takes to get, you have the idea, but then you go, I got to have a title for this. Why that? Why did you choose that particular one?
Sure. Amplifying Feedback Loop is a direct call to what the film is about, and with what we are currently dealing with the climate crisis. So an amplifying feedback loop is any event that happens. It could be a negative or a positive feedback loop. And we are currently in what is called a negative feedback loop with the climate crisis, which means that each time that we say, put gas in our cars and drive around, or, more largely having larger corporations responsible for larger usage of non-renewable resources. It's putting more carbon into our air, which is creating an increased effect in our atmosphere that kind of continues to amplify, continues to domino effect and create bigger and bigger changes as each time it is done. The ecosystem might change and get worse, or, our ice caps melt and we reflect less sun. So it is a call to the scientific term for this.
I didn't know it's a scientific term, but I will say this. We talk about this on the show, and I say it's so not popular to talk about, but I say it anyway. And I say this, we're already there. The glaciers have already melted. So you go, oh. I say volcanoes have actually added to the atmosphere more than we already produced, but it's going to get worse. So can we at least go with more clean stuff? Because I do a lot of stuff with automobiles, and I know the technology is there to do it. And I'm glad that you have this out there to remind people, guys, we can do it. It's very easy. Do you have any suggestions on how to do that?
Any direct suggestions? Yes, I would. Community action. So I think that there's something that everybody could do. And unfortunately, there's this mindset that is the consumer is the person that is responsible, when really we are all very responsible for what is happening right now. However, the people with the most power are often not the individual. So at an individual level, the best thing that we can do, in my understanding, based upon research, based upon talking with climate scientists and climate activists as well, is that if we can use our voices to put pressure on our local authorities, our local administrators, and politicians, then we as a collective can start to create greater change around measures that increase infrastructure around climate sustainable solutions.
Finally, someone who gets it. Thank you for saying it. We need to put that. Can we write an article on that? Because she pieced it together so quick. Because people talk, and they go, "You don't get it. You don't get it." Because I've had this conversation. I've had it with Honda. I've had it with, or was it Hyundai? I always get those two confused. I've had it with Hyundai, and the Hyundai person said, they're trying to kind of like I'm not gonna say the name. You guys will guess it, but it's a new type of. They can run cars on this, but they're not doing it, and it actually is really good for the environment. But the reason they're not doing it's obvious. They just want. But if I say that, then people hate me. But you got it, and it's right there. The people that make the decisions, those are the people you got to figure out, and that's the one that you got to go. Oh, people say, "Well, is it law? Is it legal?" And I say it's more than that.
Yeah.
But you got to band together, and then you go, "Who can actually help?" And then you go. And trust me, I've had so many conversations like this, usually behind the camera, because they go, I don't want to say that. I don't, because they're afraid, right? But the people have the answers, but you go, who sequesters it? And then if you put that out there, well, you got to watch your back. So
collective action, collective action and collective demand.
Yeah, it's hard
collective
to fight
action,
that.
collective demand will absolutely be something that helps to put pressure on those who are interested in the money side of it, as you say. So collective action.
I literally had a
collective demand.
senator in front of me, and he knew me because he was a mayor. And I was like, wow, I didn't know you made sense. He goes, yeah, I did. And he said, look, there's a fuel. I said, I know there is. We talked about it. He goes, dude. And then we never connected. His people won't let me. I'm like, why not? But we need it out there anyway. It's there. And if you do, and I don't know if you put this in there, but we're already there. When you have glaciers, and we could look this up. This isn't even now what it was like years ago. The glaciers have melted, and they're melting at an accelerated rate already.
Yeah,
and the way they estimate in the next few possible years, we're at 3 to 4 feet below. That's why at the coastlines, they're going underwater.
Yeah,
we're already there. It's not
unfortunately,
hundreds of years later. It's now.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not just the glaciers, it's our ice caps as well. So I lived for a number of years in Alaska, and I had firsthand witness to what was happening with the sea ice. And between 2016 and 2019 and 2016, the sea ice it froze the ocean in October and melted in June. And in 2019, the year I left, it froze in January and melted in April. Now the sea ice is integral for us to bounce radiation, the heat of the sun back into space and not sequester it on our planet. And so it's not just the glaciers, it's also our ice caps. All of these things are interrelated, and they affect all of us. And at the end of the day, our planet will be here, but we might not. So if we want to survive that, we should work together regardless of interest, because at the end of the day, we all live on this planet.
The planet figures it out with or without. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Look at all the other planets. They figure it out. Trust me. All right. and I hope we never drift away or too close to the sun. Seriously, because now we just need a meteorite that hits us. I don't know what to do with that. Anyway, what's next for you? Is there another project you're working on?
Yeah, there's a couple of different back burner projects that are kind of in the work currently. Both of them do have another subset of climate and climate change. Currently, I am focusing on trying to play with two different pieces, one about fashion and the fashion industry, and another which is more of a universal, you could call it like a children's film that is, again, encouraging people to take action and make change.
I love it. Keep going with that. All right. It's all at La Femme this year, and keep it going. Bring whatever you got to us. We'll help you promote. Good job.
Have a good one, Aaron. Thanks so much.
You too.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
We're here with Marie, and Marie, I'm sorry, we got you in the middle of adjusting, but I got a question, and were we ready to go with Marie? Because I feel like someone's barely. Oh, there you are. Hi, how you doing? Okay, can we start this over? Because I'm not gonna lie, I have no information here. Adam, did I miss something? Sorry, we're gonna edit this out. Just give me a moment.
Okay.
Did I miss something? Because I'm looking at the.
No, you're in the right spot. It's
I
just,
see it now.
Yeah.
I my fault. I didn't see Clara. I was just looking. I'm sorry. I did see Clara, so I didn't see Marie's to the right on that list.
This
It's
is
called
Marie.
The Uncanny. Sorry.
Yeah, that Maria's on the right and Claire.
No, I know. On the list, I got it wrong, and then she was suggesting herself. She knows she's going to be on. And then
girl
Let's
thing.
start over.
yeah, and then she got in position. So why don't we just start this over? It's my fault. I'm so sorry. I was looking at the list. I saw only Marie listed at the bottom. I didn't see you, Clara. I'm like, where's Clara? Where's Clara? But I get it now. Okay, so let's start over. Okay, Adam, please. We have with us two amazing people, and I will tell you, I'm so excited about this because we've got Clara Gabrielle and Marie Lauren, who have done a project called The Uncanny, which happens to be a feature about something that you really need to talk about, but people are not talking about it. Can you tell us what it is?
So The Uncanny explores themes of depression and mental illness in women, more specifically, but people in general, spanning over the course of a century, and as well as the beauty standards that are imposed upon women through social media and through society at large.
Okay, thank you for saying that. And like okay, because I haven't seen it, so I need to see it. So I tell people, please promote because we have time.
I hope you do. Come.
Yes,
see it.
I mean we love our men audience too.
Men love
thank
it.
you.
Actually, yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Because men do suffer from this, even though they don't talk about it. But the question I have is this. You two, you hit on something that I say, talk about it. You did it in a way that you go, oh, it's easy, meaning it's never easy to put a project like this. And I love the title, The Uncanny. Thank you for doing that. But it's a psychological horror feature about grief, depression, and suicide. So because I think people want to see that, right?
I think they do. Yeah, there's definitely an audience for it. People have been really responsive. They come up to us in tears and thank us for feeling seen, essentially, in the film.
And actually, our timing is oddly perfect in a sad way. I just saw on CNN a couple of days ago that the Surgeon General declared that mental health is a national epidemic that could cause the loss of our democracy. And he elaborates and he brings in the article about the impact of social media on beauty standards and how it's really affecting the mental health of youth. I'm thinking, my God, we wrote the script in 2016. And really, it is a story about Zuzu, a therapist who witnessed something very traumatic. I play Zuzu. And she goes down the rabbit hole. And just it's a study on women and depression spanning one century. I am the contemporary woman, but we have women from the past also. But then the film, who deals with elements of fairy tales, is also an allegory for the unrealistic beauty standards imposed on women nowadays through social media. So it's like two stories wrapped in one, with lots of Easter eggs and symbolism and stuff. That the kind of film we hope the audience will go home afterward or go to the bar and sit down and say, what was that about? Yeah. And talk about it and engage and feel comfortable discussing serious issues. And we would love to destigmatize.
Destigmatize.
Yeah. Thank you. Not for me to say in English. The whole concept of mental illness, and make it something that people can feel comfortable talking and revealing a little bit more about themselves.
I'm glad you said that because, and it's been said for a few years, not as much, but and I'm glad you said, hey, we did it, a while back. They're talking about it. Keep it going, because there's something, and I don't think guys get it, and I could be wrong about this, but you don't understand what harm can happen eventually. You said something about certain standards. What is it that they put there, and then what is it that happens, and then how did this film approach that from the way that you did?
Well, we don't want to
reveal too
everything.
much,
There's a twist and stories, but let's say that we have dolls, the dolls in the film, and dolls have been kind of like a trope in horror movies.
Yes,
It's kind of classic. You said dolls, say, oh boy, there comes Chucky or whatever, but we use it for
our dolls are a little different.
Different.
Utilized in a different way.
Absolutely.
I love dolls, but dolls do not love me. Okay.
Not by dolls.
Yeah, well, they, especially when their eyes open that way, I just go, what is that?
I know, yeah.
Right. And all of a sudden, yeah, you got it. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So, and good job. Because, and at the end of the day, I have so many questions on this, but okay. So, because you talk about, now I have a question. Okay. I haven't seen anything. I like to keep it fresh. Okay. But let's say I'm there. Okay. Because I'm not going to lie. There's some things I hide from my mom. Is there anything in it that I go, like, cover your eyes, Ma?
No.
No.
I mean, there's a few cuss words, but everybody cusses once in a while, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Is Mom okay with that?
We do.
No, that cover your ears. Visually,
Okay.
it's not a gore. There's no. There's one thing. There's blood.
There's blood,
but
but
it's justified.
not-
There's no gore. No jumps.
There's no gratuitous.
No.
gore
It's
violence.
it's really
it's a psychological thriller.
So we try to get in your head.
With supernatural elements.
Yeah.
I like how you said there's. Why is it justified?
Why is it justified?
Yeah.
Well, you have to make the fear seem tangible and realistic and something that's true for it to resonate, for it to genuinely be scary. But we also didn't want to, exploit mental illness at the same time, right?
And also,
we just wanted to reveal this true fear that's lurking under something that is easy to pass off as it's not a real health issue, right? It's just a mental health issue, but it's actually really it's a something that's dangerous, right? And can be fatal, right?
And also the scene where we utilize blood. I mean, it's about a very, very impactful character in the film who's sort of the tipping point in the story. And I used to work in mental health. I was a mental health counselor, crisis intervention with severely abused and neglected children and teenagers.
Oh, that's good.
Did that for 20 something years. And I learned those kids give me so much more than I could ever give them. It's unbelievable the growth I made as a human being working with them. They taught me so much. So it's sort of an homage at the same time to them. And we have LGBTQ characters in the films. And the first place I worked at was a group home who catered to LGBTQ youth in the 90s, right during the AIDS epidemic. And that was an unbelievable experience to go through. And so I don't want to reveal everything, but there's one character in particular who's amazing. And that's why what happened to her was very important for us to make it as impactful as possible to our audience.
Well, I love everything psychological, and especially when it is like 100%. There's a reason, okay? There's certain things when I watch it, like I literally said to my mother, I said, how would you judge a person that kills someone? He's a priest, she's a nun, but she kills the priest because he kills a lot of people. Would you judge her? She goes, well, that person would go to prison, wouldn't they? I said, yeah, but you don't know it. He killed a lot of kids and he buried them. And she goes, yeah, but that's not right. I go, you missed it. That is a film. And then she went, I'm like, it cannot make sense to you, Ma. So I'm like, no, I don't think she should see it. But when there's a reason, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I always like to also add that that's important. We chose to have humor in the film.
There's a lot of
We
humor,
have quite a bit of humor in the film, and it's always difficult and tricky because the subject is so dark, and we think, oh my God, is the audience gonna get it and laugh? And they do. I mean, we played in England and France, United States, and they all
There's
have the
always
same.
people
They all
laughing
have at
in
the
the
same
audience, yeah.
same time. It's
Yeah.
it's a wonderful, because we felt that even when people are at the darkest moment in their life, they still
Yeah.
manage to retain the ability to laugh.
Yes, and the material was so dark that it sort of required some levity in order for, I think, you're not to numb out, really.
And
I'm glad
Clash
you
as a
No.
director, a color palette, which is not typical. Usually horror movies or sexual thriller portraying the hues
Like
of blues
grays
and
and greens and
grays,
blues, yeah.
very dark, but Clara.
These are very vibrant jewel candy tones that we're working with. Yeah.
You hit on something I never even thought of, okay? And it's very smart. I always go, why do they do that? I get it though. You go, it's so dark. If you take out all the levity parts or the parts that would make you go, oh God, thank God. You kind of, right? Yeah, there's some films that are so that, and I'm like, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? It's because you need to put in those moments where you go, thank God, So good job.
You need to breathe a little bit. Absolutely.
Yeah, because I sometimes hyperventilate, not gonna lie. All right, well, good job. Keep it going. I don't know about the doll situation, but is there a second? Is there a doll that is like hiding behind that wall or something that we didn't know about?
There's many. You'll have to come, Aaron. You'll have to come and see it.
Yes.
Don't bring the doll. That's all I gotta say. All right, we're out of time, everyone. Make it a great
Oh, I
day.
got back here.
Oh. Oh God, you scared me. I'm like, she's gonna jump out. I like to kill you. Okay, look, anyway.
Thank you so
Twilight
much.
Zone did it to me. I am talking Tina. I will kill you. All right. I don't like you very much. Oh
Oh my
God.
God, excited. Next project. And
We're in
Kenny
our,
too.
yep, you're in our sequel. You're cast.
Yeah. I got a story there. You don't want to hear. All right. Make it a great day, whatever you do, and keep it going. All right.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Aaron.
you.
All right.
In the beginning, all films were short.
It's not a charity. We're not here to help you. We're not here to help your cause. We're there to make our money make money.
It probably takes a year to 2 years to really start seeing money.
That title of executive producer on a feature is not the same as the title of executive producer on a television show.
Don't give yourself a bad review before you start.
I'm sorry, I'm super awesome, and this is my pitch.
We're here with Anya, and Anya, I'm not gonna lie, I'm looking at this, I'm going, oh my God, this is like an hour interview. How can I do this in little? But let's talk about it because it's something very big. And I say this is very important because it's about somebody. Whenever you put a Nobel Peace anything, all right, it's big. Now the title, I see here. You help me out. What's it about?
And the title is The World of Three Zeros. So you've got zero net carbon emissions, zero poverty, and zero unemployment. And it's really a way of summarizing the 17 sustainable goals into something that anybody can understand, because there's only 3 of them.
Okay. And I love it because it sounds, and this is, and I have this conversation behind closed doors. They never want to go on. And I go, if I just had a recording for all these conversations I've had in private, because they never want to go on camera saying this. Okay. So Anya, I think you did something, I hope. But the question I have is, and let me ask you this, because it's about something, like I said, whenever something is involved, and I see it here, Nobel Peace, sometimes people say that's impossible. It's not impossible. Why is it? And I know people need to see it in order to go, oh, it is actually possible. Because I've seen videos like this, and Netflix takes it, and I go, there's the answer. It's right there. What was the answer for you? Go, it makes sense now. We can do it.
My partner and I have been involved in production for many, many years, and we started with corporate films, and then we did mostly commercials. And at one stage, we were offered this really massive contract with a huge company, and my partner said, "Why should we do this? Why are we using our skills to only make people who are already very wealthy even wealthier? Shouldn't we be looking to see if we could help people who are in need?" And that was like you can't go back from there. So we started reaching out to people who could we be useful to. But actually nobody said, yes, please, we would like to use your skills. except a company in Germany, and they had footage of Professor Yunus, this Nobel Peace Laureate, hours and hours and hours of footage of him visiting companies in Uganda. But it was just sitting on a hard disk. Nobody edited it into anything. So the company said, well, if you're happy to make a couple of stories out of this, that would be great. And that's how it all started, editing somebody else's footage.
Okay. Now, what did you learn when you were doing that? You said it makes sense.
He completely bowled us over because he has this concept about doing business. So it's about, you have a problem that you care about. You look for a way of solving that problem. You make a business out of it. You're not able to do it by yourself. You have to reach out to other people to help you make this business work. And the whole idea is that you solve the problem and you make money at the same time. But the money, any extra money, will obviously pay your salary, and you pay everybody else that's in the company, and you look out for your pension as well. And anything that's left over, well, you feed it back into the company to continue solving the problem, or you create another company to solve other problems. And Professor Yunus has been doing this since the 1970s in Bangladesh, and his companies are making huge profits and helping millions of people. And the documentary is about a whole series of other people who've taken on this same mindset of problem solving using a business model rather than a charity. Charities are brilliant. It's not that. It's just that charities depend on people donating the money, whereas in business, you generate the money and you're independent, and you're not depending on others.
Yes, thank you for saying that. I literally put it's an 8-part series. We already got the first one out, but it's in one of them, and it's an answer that says it's easy. You just need to, because here's the thing, and here's the thing that people don't understand. You have a lot of pushback, all right, and what I mean by that is, people go, "Oh, you're a host. What would you know?" I go, "You don't get it." There's a lot of people that I know that are very smart. They never go on camera, but they're very we don't want to talk about that. And I go, why not? It's so easy. And it's usually because, I don't know, maybe you know why, because you said it at the beginning, people, they want you, but then they kind of go, not right now. And you're like, but you could do it. And it's right there. It's a principle that a lot of businesses have been doing, but I think they forgot that. Sometimes they put it under social responsibility. Sometimes they put it under, we can help each other out. But he really put it, and it was very simple, but it's called proof of concept. He's proven it. You see it in the proof. How come more companies don't do it? What do you think?
I think you've really hit the nail on the head. Professor Yunus has just practiced solving things and realized that other people are interested in the way he solved things. So he goes all around the world sharing, I did it this way. Well, what do you think? And somebody's saying, well, I've got this problem. Can I apply the same techniques? And he just says, well, go ahead and try. You're going to make mistakes, and but you just start all over again. And so we're talking about people, I think if I give an example that might help. We have a doctor in Thailand, and he's got loads of patients who've got back problems, and he realizes that the back problems are due to stress. So he thinks, well, if these people could have a regular massage, that would help to de-stress them. And then he said, but I'm talking about thousands of people that need to be de-stressed on a regular basis. So he said, I need a workforce for this. And he thought, well, who can I help? And he realized in Thailand, it's the country in the world where there are more women in prison than any other country. And so he thought, well, what if I start working with women while they're still in prison, and I teach them how to do these massage techniques. So when they leave prison, they have a job, and that's his business. And it's been going on for nearly 10 years. And he's trained hundreds of women to have a massage job and to be proud of what they're doing. And part of their salary goes back to their family. And there's just a good doing good loop that's happening there.
You got it. I'm so glad you said it's a loop, because it is a loop. And that's the part. And we have a series. It's very simple. And I say, look, you have to think 100 years in the future. Okay. And he thinks that. He's very smart. There's a reason the Nobel, you don't get that out of nowhere, right? You make sense, but it's proof of concept. So instead of just, and this is the thing where people go, and I think kids are ready for this. They really are. Because they go, has it been done? And you go, yeah, it has. And you put that out there. People need to see this film. How do we get everyone to watch this film? Seriously.
That would be really exciting, because I think we all need role models whenever something new is happening. And it's nice to see, I think we've got like 26 women speaking to camera about their experience in business of problem solving. And we've got 25 men, so we've got a good balance there. And yeah, the ambition is that this concept is actually being taught in universities all around the world. And but there are very few filmmakers who seem to know about this concept. So what we'd like is that the documentary could maybe inspire other people to tell stories in their local area or go around the world, whatever they want to do. But there's so much going on. There's so many positive stories. And these people are all working so hard. It'd be just nice to have them have a spotlight on these people.
Well, and I think along with that, I think the money is there when you say these are the companies that are doing it. They actually put these into practice. He's not the only one, because people do adopt this and they've adopted it throughout the years, but they don't talk about it. They do it under, and I'm not gonna lie, we did a show, it's called Money Talk with Jesse Torres. He's very smart, and he said social responsibility is a thing, and it got to be a thing for like a few months. And I said, but what does it mean? And he never said how you can make money at the end. And it's this: if you make, and you said it was really quick. He didn't just take care of he created a business, right? And he helped a bunch of people when they get out of prison, right? Teach them something that they could take long-term. Everyone wants a massage, all right? But he helped pay for them eventually, their family as well. A lot of companies only pay the person, not the family, but you can actually train the family to do another business, and you could tie them into that business because he probably has more than one business, right?
The reason why he encourages the ladies to put some of their salary back to their family is because their families are living in remote areas, in rural areas in Thailand. And before they were all in the drug opium business. And whenever you're planting drugs on your land, afterwards, your land is destroyed. You can't do anything with it. So the money gets put back into the communities. They can try to restore and regenerate their land, which means that they don't need to go into the drug business anymore. And these girls who are all living in Bangkok, at one stage, they're actually happier to go back and live with their mums and their dads and their cousins. But they need to go back to something that they can live from. So that's what the business is about, is they look for the source of the problem. Why have these girls left their rural areas and come to Bangkok and got into these difficult situations and found themselves in prison?
No, and I'm glad you said it. And you make money all the way through. That's the thing. That's where some businesses kind of forget. I'll give you an example. I drink it all the time, right? Okay, I shouldn't promote it, but there are drinks that everyone drinks, but they keep giving back to the community, and they keep promoting that. Now, of course, they make money. You go, well, I make a lot of money. Yeah, but did you enjoy the drink? Seriously. And they go, well, it's not healthy. I go, yeah, but still, so in a way, I say corporations can help, but people go, but they don't. And I go, I think they need to go back to this. So they need to see this film, go, oh, we forgot that. Because you kind of forgot that. I would say to some companies, I've interviewed them and I go, you guys forgot like what you were about, or the management changes. So the CEO sells it to, a whole team, or now it's, a public entity. And now it's no longer that. Give you a perfect example. People have so many things about Bill Gates, but Bill Gates knows that. And he probably even met the guy at some point, but Bill Gates kind of wants to make that. But I go, man, did he lose his way? Because he wanted to do that, right?
I think you've also touched a really important point. There's no point in trying to solve problems and create other problems on the way. So all these companies try to be environmentally conscious. They have fair salaries, gender balance. And well, I suppose it's just based on, we humans can be selfish, but we can also be really generous. And it's trying to bring out the generous part of people. And what Professor Yunus is trying to say is that, okay, it's important to make money and it's important to look after yourself and your family. But there's something really exciting and special about whenever you use your skills to help other people. What you get back there, it's so much more than any amount of money can make you feel.
Yeah, I love it. I'm not gonna lie, I never heard of this guy, but I go, oh, he preaches what we teach. So I'm so glad. So keep it going, keep it, and I can't wait to see this. Okay, I'm going to see this. Do you know what day it is that it's premiering
Yes,
at La Femme?
it's on Thursday. It's on Thursday night.
Okay,
And
Thursday.
Professor Eunice's daughter lives in New York. She's an
Ooh.
opera singer, Monica Eunice. She's
Okay.
really quite well known in America.
Well, I can't wait. There are so many people I haven't met yet, and I cannot wait to meet. But are we going to see you there? Because everybody that cannot make it in person, you can still click on the link. Let me show the link real quick so you guys get it. It's right here, right at the bottom, lafemmediventive.org. If you're seeing this right now, go ahead and you could get just hers, right? Give out the title again so they know where to click.
I will be there, definitely, because I am just totally bowled over about how this festival is organized. I want to say thank you so much for all the hard work that the whole team has put in. All the communication has just been amazing. Thank you very much to the sponsors, because without them, this wouldn't be possible. And of course, we will be there in honor of all what people are doing for women and cinema. And thank you very much for your time as well.
Yeah, and the title real quick of the film?
A World of 3 Zeros. So 0 poverty, 0 unemployment, and 0 net carbon emissions. It's possible.
It is. It's been like people do it. All right, there you go. Keep it going. Thank you so much. And we'll see you at the festival.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.